Welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 with CasualT Gaming. Where we left off last time was we had spent building this entire train and truck system in order to get steel and plastic over to this Las Vegas goods factory. And then from here in the Vegas goods factory, we need to send it up to St. Paul, back to Las Vegas, and actually to points all over. Lowell wants it. I think even Inglewood wants goods. And we could even ship it down to New Orleans, I believe. So we have a lot of options for shipping goods out of this factory here. Our first destination is going to be St. Paul, and our second destination is going to be Las Vegas. Possibly reversing those two. Not 100% sure yet. But what we need to do is we need to purchase the trains for this route. So we'll need a train from this ore mine, iron ore, to the steel mill. We'll need a train that runs from the steel mill. Well, actually, you know what? Let's take a quick look at what our trains can do, because I don't think the same train can pick up steel that can pick up iron ore. And that train will need to run and drop it off here to the goods factory. So let's go to our train depot and let's look at our cargo options. So yes, a gondola will be able to transport 8 iron ore at 50 miles an hour, but we'll need a flat car with side stakes in order to transport steel. So unfortunately, we can't go back and forth with it. We'll also need a box car to take our goods. So we'll actually have to have different types of trains running on this route. It's too bad it's not a fuel line where crude oil and fuel all are transported by the same type of train car. But let's go ahead and get started, and we will need a lot of capacity. Let's do 8 or 80. We do have some electric vehicles available now that can do in that 50-ish mile an hour range, and that's a lot of tractive effort, but it's also a lot of cost. Then again, we have $124 million. And if it says it's excellent, let's go ahead and tack on a few more. Wow. Still excellent? Well, 120, let's start with that. And that will go to Las Vegas Iron. And I'm going to let the game run in the background so the trains can start moving. Next, we're going to need a vehicle that can carry the steel itself. And so we're going to go with that. And we'll do the same train, still excellent. And that will be to Inglewood Steel. And then lastly, we're going to need a vehicle that can take the finished goods, and we're going to use a slightly less powerful train because we're not carrying quite as much. Is there a less powerful? Maybe we'll do that. And that'll be St. Paul goods. So it just needed a moment to get out of the station or out of the depot in order to get up to speed. And there goes the passenger line with not that many passengers on it right now, which is interesting. We have our tram, which should be picking up quite a few of these folks. And our next tram is already on the way, along with 3 more empty trams. Okay. That vehicle is going to speed on through because it needs to go to this coal station, which already is waiting for it. And we should have that's our passenger train. That's our goods train. Where is the steel train? There's the steel train. And currently I had it coming back to Las Vegas because I thought the same train could pick up goods, but it can't, so there's no point in stopping in Las Vegas. Alright, we'll wait until that thing's full and then we'll take a picture of it because I think that'll be a good looking train. And we'll let our lines work up to profitability. Alright, let's see this. So this food production is only feeding into St. Paul because Las Vegas doesn't care about food. Has Las Vegas improved on our stops? A little bit. Because this stop is no longer overloaded. Oh, it's still a little bit overloaded. And this stop is quite full as well. Top speed of 25. Do we have any vehicles, any trams that can do better than 25? We do. We have this one that can do 37. And it holds more people, so we'll go ahead and upgrade to that. But we will also change the color of this line so that it matches. And it's different looking than the service from the other, from Lowell, which will be the yellow. I think it is time to start upgrading some of these lines. So let's go ahead and make sure we're catenary and high speed. Yes, we are starting to get rail vehicles that can. we're limited by the speed of the tank cars, which is 50, but that's okay. We should be getting upgrades to those soon. So I'm hoping this refinery can increase its production because we definitely have the customers who want the fuel. And we've got these trucks dropping off, and now we've got these massive trains dropping off. That should hopefully, yeah, fill up this refinery. And we can get it all out of here too at the same time. Do we need a fourth train on this route? I think we might. All right, so I think we've optimized this line a little bit more. We're still having issues keeping this fuel refinery supplied, even though we've got 3 trains running. Yeah, nothing on board. So what we really need is we need a faster tank car for this segment of the line. That's where the bottleneck is. So we'll have to wait and come back to that. Let's see how we're doing. Our steel plant is producing and it's out of iron ore. So we are going to double up this vehicle. Well, as soon as the autosave lets us. We have a lot. We have, well, some passengers waiting finally. We definitely need to increase the number of vehicles on the tram line because there are so many people waiting. I wish there was some way in this game to give the tram priority, and I'm not 100% sure that there is. In fact, I haven't found it if there is a way. And that says the tram will always have the priority access to the intersection. All cars must stop for the train, light rail essentially. Oh, here we go. There we go. Faster vehicles. Pause, 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 pause. Faster vehicles for our tank car, gondola, boxcar, for everything, really. All right. $75 million. We know where our biggest issue is this line. We're going to replace all of them just because it'll be easier than trying to do it by hand. And we'll do 150s, and this thing can do 75 miles an hour now. The steam train can do 90 with 35,000. 78 with 31,000. Let's see what they say. That's a good rating. And it's $32 million to replace. Let's do that first. And we crashed the game.